1, 2, 3, FCA!
Okay, we're going back and looking at some of our basic throws and looking at how to make sure we can set them up. So the Osoto Gari is something we've looked at a bunch of times. You know, as usual, I'm coming low to get my grip. My grip's up here at the collarbone. I'm getting my sleeve grip. So I've got good controls here. And what I'm working to do is pounce in and come past and attack that leg. So that's my basic throw. I want to come in, pass, and throw him. Okay? Now, that's all well and good as long as he's following the script as well. In real life, he's going to react. And a lot of times what's going to happen is, as I go in for this, he's going to step that foot back. Okay? Now, we've looked a few times at some different options for switching off to different throws. But I can also just continue to drive through for this throw. So as I come here, as he steps back, I can follow through and step down past. Keep my hips coming past and complete my Osoto Gari. It relies on me being persistent. It relies on me having that ongoing drive. So seeing that a little bit more in real time, I go for it, he steps back, I come down, and I carry on driving through. One of the other things that we talked about is, again, he's not playing to the script. His feet are set up the other way around. From here, it's not really wise for me to try and go for this Osoto Gari because I'm going from too far away. It's going to make it very hard for me to get in and hip to hip. What I want to do, and as I get more advanced with my technique, I start manipulating him to get him to be where I want. So if that foot's back, and I really want to attack that foot, I've got options. I could push into him, which makes him step. Now that's where I want it to be. Alternatively, I could step back. Now that foot's where I want it to be. I could circle. Now that foot's where I want it to be. What's really important though is the higher level he is, the more dexterous he is on his feet, the smaller that window of opportunity is going to be. So if I circle, let him step, and then go to step in, I'm just chasing him the whole time and I'll never catch up. I have to anticipate. So as I circle, I know where that foot's going to be, so I can go for it. And that's the whole aim is, instead of putting his foot somewhere and then reacting to that, I know where I'm putting his foot, and I'm already attacking the space where I'm making him move to. I'm intercepting him. That's the way I'm going to catch up with him. So that's what we looked at standing up. On the ground, we were looking at our closed guard position. In closed guard, when I am directly in front of my opponent, my attacks are made difficult by the fact that the human body is designed really well to defend against front-on attacks. If I go straight towards him at any point, his hands are in exactly the right place to ward off anything that I'm putting towards him. If I really want to attack him, I want to isolate his arms away from his body, and I want to get off his center line. And that's what's going to really open up attacks for me. So something that I really like to do, if I've got my grip here on the collar, he's doing some kind of normal defense with his hands to the inside. I'm going to come up inside this arm. My hand's going to go to the back of his head, and I'm going to hip out as I pull him down. And I'm stiff arming to get to this position. It's kind of like a clamshell. My right foot is at his hip on the other side. My clamshell is over here. I've now isolated this arm. This arm feels vulnerable. What happens sometimes at this point is this guy immediately thinks he can push this leg down and step over it. That's a huge error on his part. If he does that, I'm just going to control his hand and just step over. As I step over, my foot's on his hip, I lift, turn him straight into my triangle. It's a very easy triangle to set up. That's going to happen with someone who's a little bit more of a beginner. If he's got a little bit more nous about him, I set up into here and I punch out. He's not going to come inside that leg. What he's going to try and do is hug over that leg and get heavy. and he's going to try and drop his chest down. Then he'll sprawl his legs back and try and walk out and around this, whilst bringing this arm to the inside so he doesn't leave it free. What I can do here, I'm going to take a grip, cat's paw grip here, and I'm going to extend my thigh so that my shin bone is driving straight into his bicep. This is uncomfortable for him, okay? His reaction is actually to pull his arm out a little bit. I've fully extended my hip. What that means is when I drop my hip back in, my foot can always fit through that space. My shin is shorter than my thigh. Again, I'm in a position to step over, switch, finish off my triangle, okay? We looked a little bit at triangles. We're doing some triangle techniques here, so just a couple of pointers on tightening up and finishing my triangle. First things first, when I was taught triangles in the old world, you know, we used to go right out here at the foot, bring your heel down, and then squeeze down, and you'd pull the head down into the choke. Look at this huge amount of space beside his head. Now, this isn't great for him, but this is completely wasted space, and if he's good, he's just going to repack his shoulder, and he's going to breathe in that space, he's going to start stacking up, and he'll defend, and my legs will get tired. When I'm tightening up my triangle, what I want to do, I want to push my leg against his head, lock it down there, and then squeeze my knees together. If I want to tighten it up, I don't come over his head, I come over my knee and pull my knee down. Other pointers are, sometimes his chin is in and packed, and that's giving him some space. I want to stretch his neck out. So watch, I'm going to swim backwards, backwards. This is going to open his neck out. Now when I lift up and I crunch in towards him, that triangle comes on really tightly. The final point with triangles is, wherever possible, I don't want to be straight in front of him. If I'm in front of him with the triangle, when he stacks, he's stacking up over my neck, he's crunching my back, and he's can opening me to pop open. If I could be off to the side, I've got a much better angle. I don't have to have as much flexibility in my knees to hook this up. And if he stacks, he's going past the choke. So he's not driving me up and over myself. So those little pointers help us finish off the triangle. This position is a position we're going to work more from. It's one of my favorite attack positions from the guard, getting off that center line. We're going to look at a lot more techniques of how to attack the floating arm and other ways to set up from there. But this is a great start point for an attack system. Thanks for helping me out. Good training.